How do you get from point A to point B? Do you take the most direct route, or do you wander? Do you follow a path, or maybe make your own? What if there's something in your way? How do you get around it? Why do you choose the path you take? Because it's easy? Because it's safe? Maybe it's fun or scenic. Is it habit? Or maybe the only path you see? Parkour is about the path one takes and the obstacles along the way. But as I set out to explore this new sport, I quickly discovered that parkour is on its own obstacle-filled path. Parkour is about human nature, society, and evolution. It's about limits, choices, and freedoms. It's about getting to point B.
Start the revolution. Start the revolution of the revolution. The revolution.
What is parkour? Let's go find out. What exactly is parkour to you?
It's a tough question. Parkour means a lot of different things.
Parkour is about fitness, it's about improving your body.
Parkour is a means for people to exercise.
It's a way from getting to point A to point B in a very primitive manner.
It's about training within yourself, training your mind.
It's a discipline to train the body to become faster, more efficient.
Parkour is about being able to overcome obstacles at a split-second notice.
It's about conquering your fears in your mind. After you do that, your body can do the same things as anyone else for the most part.
Parkour offers several techniques for overcoming various obstacles that may exist along a path. For example, a wall run, stepping into a wall and launching upwards, or a tic-tac, rebounding off a wall, can help a traceur, that is, somebody who does parkour, to go up. A drop with a roll, on the other hand, is used to safely get down. Various vaults, such as the speed vault, help one over an obstacle. Other vaults include the Kong, the Dash, and the Cash, the integration of these two. An underbar is used to go under or through an obstacle, while a traceur may use a cat leap to get across a gap. The central theme in these movements is something called quadrupedal motion, utilizing all four limbs for movement rather than just the two legs. The parkour is not limited to these techniques. Any movement that helps one overcome an obstacle is a parkour technique. Parkour is not a set of moves, but rather a way to move. In fact, it can be split into two ways to move: pure parkour and its derivative sport, freerunning. Pure parkour is about getting from one point to another in the fastest, most efficient way possible. The idea is to find a way to conquer any obstacle in your path.
The ultimate goal is to get to your destination quickly, efficiently, and safely. However you do that, in the end, it doesn't really matter. You know, maybe you look good doing it, you know, maybe you get some cuts and scrapes along the way, but your ultimate goal is to get to that destination. Every new person that comes to me, 99% of the time, they think that parkour and freerunning are the same thing. So it's kind of a constant struggle in my life just to keep people educated and, you know, have them understand that there is a difference between the two things.
It's understandable that freerunning is often confused with parkour because they are very similar. The main difference is that freerunning allows more freestyle movements, removing the requirement of speed and efficiency.
Freerunning is slightly different from parkour. It's about finding your own path or your own way. So it allows for the flips, spins, aesthetics, and just movements that don't necessarily have to be efficient.
I think it's tough to really draw a line and say whether you're
freerunner or tracer, and a lot of people get hung up on that. Just do what's fun. I mean, I got into this because it's fun.
If I make a video and I do a flip at the end, and 15, 13-year-old kids online spam me for saying, you did a flip, that's not parkour, that is ridiculous. Because I went out, I felt good about what I did, I challenged myself, I cared about what I was doing, and that's all parkour should be.
Parkour questions how people move through their surroundings, but all I could think about were animals. Animals continually amaze me with some of the physical feats they accomplish, and they do it with such a natural, instinctual air. If only humans were so adapted to their environments.
The idea of parkour started with George Hebert and his natural method. It was a method he developed in France that basically used natural exercise. Jumping, running, climbing, throwing, defense, swimming.
After donning my natural method outfit, I decided to try it out for myself. Hebert believed humans have grown weak and unhealthy in modern societies compared to past and more primitive civilizations. Until the Industrial Revolution, most exercise was obtained through activities related to work and subsistence. Industrialization brought a less physical lifestyle filled with thinking jobs and technological conveniences.
In our society, everything's so easy for us. We can drive our cars everywhere. We can, catch escalators and elevators and things like that.
To combat this modern sedentary lifestyle, Hebert developed the natural method. The natural method aims to replicate the survival activities of primitive man using natural human movements for exercise.
What we do is just bring back what our ancestors did to survive.
I'm sure that in the very beginning of mankind as the Homo sapiens sapien, there was dudes totally jumping over and under trees and doing flips.
Since the natural method's goal is for humans to have a more naturally physical lifestyle, any exercise accrued from manual labor should be included as a corollary to the natural method. The underlying theme of the method is Hebert's motto, "Be strong to be useful," meaning humans should better themselves physically to aid their society. But the method also carries an interesting implication. Though a rational mind separates us from animals, humans began as physical beings and should not neglect their physical nature.
What are we capable of as humans? What are these bodies really designed to be able to do? What's the next step of evolution?
It's something that was in every one of us as a child, and it's natural, and kids do it all the time. And as we grow older, we forget about it, and we stop doing it.
What is it that strips away that element of play and adventure in our everyday movement?
Then jump down.
What if we manage to hang on to it?
Anyone can do parkour because it's about what you can do. If you can't do something, you train and you work at it, and then you can do it.
If I get out there and I do something that I've been trying really hard to do, and it's the maximum I can go at that moment, and then somebody else does something that's 2 feet smaller, but in the same way, it's the maximum thing they can do, then they accomplish just as much as I did. Whether their obstacle was smaller than mine or not, it doesn't matter, because we both tried as hard as we could, and we did something that was at our limits.
It's all about using parkour as part of your everyday life, and that doesn't matter if, you know, you're a plumber or you're a performer or, you know, you're a social worker or something like that. You've got to find it so that it becomes something that you can do every day. It's not something that you go out and do on the weekends.
I think a lot of people do feel confined by the barriers that are put up through society, and parkour is a way of manipulating that into a way, getting to your destination the way you want to get there.
We built these structures all throughout civilization, walking around them, below them. Now we're working with them. So we've created our world, and now we are able to fully use it.
The French embraced Hebert's ideology, using natural method-inspired obstacle courses for physical education and military training.
In the military obstacle courses, parcours du combattant. That's where the word parkour comes from.
Ryan even created his own obstacle course.
So what we're doing here today is called the gauntlet, and basically it's turning the outside environment into a conditioning circuit where we're strengthening our bodies and just getting in better shape to do parkour.
It's about moving through your environment in challenging, difficult ways, and just exercising and doing things that will help us get stronger to do parkour. We were meant to get outside, climb trees, jump rocks, and I'd much rather see people get outside and do parkour than run on a treadmill while watching TV and listening to their iPods. That's not natural. Parkour is natural.
So you know you're done with the gauntlet when your hands look like this.
Raymond Bell, who was in the French military, did these obstacle courses, and he was a firefighter in Paris. And his son, David Bell, is the one who imagined himself in these emergency situations where he had to be a hero like his father, and he had to climb up a building or get somewhere as fast as he could. And that mindset is what started parkour. A lot of people tend to give David Bell all the credit for coming up with parkour, but in reality there is a larger group of these guys in the beginning who all developed it together and made it into what it is today. There was the Yamakasi, Sebastian Foucan, and several others who were all working with David Bell. They were all pushing each other. They were all working together.
Parkour's origins trace back just 20 years to a suburb of Paris. Then in 2003, a film called Jump London widely popularized the sport in Europe, coining the term freerunning as an English translation of parkour. Ever since, parkour has blown up worldwide. So how do people get into it?
My brother had some movies, Yamakasi, B-13. I watched them, and I was immediately enthralled with what they were doing. I had never seen anything like it, and obviously, me being my personality, I was like, I gotta be doing that. I gotta be at the front of that stuff.
I saw a David Bell video, and I saw this guy, and I was like, here's someone who has taken a form of human movement so far beyond what anybody else has done, and I was inspired by it.
I saw Oleg's video, Russian climbing. Please check that out. Russian climbing. Google that.
That's why everyone really does parkour thing. No, it's for the ladies. Yeah.
A lot of people are not only attracted to the movement, but also to the philosophy.
In parkour, we overcome obstacles in our environment efficiently. And in life, you can apply that by thinking of problems in your life and saying, well, this is just an obstacle that I can overcome, and you think of ways to overcome it, and think of ways to do it faster, more efficient, just like you would in parkour.
You know, you can't really do anything about nuclear fallout. These are just general things that seem like, oh, that's horrible. How can I fix that? Well, it's parkour to the rescue.